Hello and welcome back to McMorran Arena. This is CPHS 6. I'm Alex Rogers. Along with me is Sean McLean. Tonight we're bringing you hockey action, high school hockey action to be specific. We've got the Port Huron Northern Huskies versus the Port Huron High School Big Reds. That's right, crosstown rivalry. And Sean, with that, how do you think the last time these two teams played is going to affect this game?
I believe that since PH lost the last game, they're going to come out looking to get some revenge against Port Huron Northern. There's always some rivalries between the two of them, and it should make up for a good game.
And Justin Smith goes across the line. We're going to have an offsides. That's going to be whistled on number 11, Nick Prevost, as he failed to come back across the blue line. So already the refs plan on taking much control of this hockey game, and this is not going to get out of control. Face off, PH side neutral ice. Justin Smith versus Joel Heimbeck. Smith wins that one to number 3. That is Tim Ropish. Up along the boards, Justin Smith chasing it in. Smith fails to get to it, but Albert picks it up. Albert tries to go center. Intercepted by number 16 for PH. That's Josh Gardner. Gardner dumps it along the boards, picked up by Ropish. Lost by Ropish. Picked up by Gardner again, lost to Prevost. Prevost sends it up the ice, chasing it is Scott Elber, and looks like it's going to whistle another offside, so second stoppage of play.
That line right there with Tim Ropish and Chris Sox, Justin Smith, and Scott Elber, that's one of Port Huron Northern's goal-getting lines, Alex. Both Justin Smith and Scott Elbert are both they're point getters for Port Huron Northern.
Face off deep in Northern zone. Josh Bennett versus Scott Herber, and Bennett wins that one. That goes back to Steve Van Sickle. And now it's up along the boards. Van Sickle left side, thrown in by Heyer. Picked up by PH. Once again, grabbed out of the air by Heyer. Back behind the Port Huron High zone. Goal. Centered, but no one home for Northern as it's picked up by PH. PH goes cross ice, tries to go to number 10, that's Shane Talmadge. Talmadge couldn't handle. Picked up by number 4, Kevin Sadowi. Sadowi, the senior, throws it up to another senior, Heyer, who passes it to a third senior, Bennett. Bennett back to Heyer in the corner. Heyer loses his footing and Bennett gets hit. Without a stick, Bennett is still battling for the puck, and in goes Heyer. Heyer contests, but it was cleared by number 7, Jason Newberry for PH. Sadowi battles in neutral ice. Coming over to help his number 15, that's Steve Van Sickle. And Sadowi dumps it as Northern goes for a line change. That's Jeremy Van Ness in front as he loops one up, and that's going to be out of play. So Northern definitely making the most of their opportunities so far tonight, getting away more shots, more offensive chances. What they did last game, incidentally, they won 5-1. And that was with the loss of Justin Smith in the third period. So I think he would have made a big difference too. And it's looking like that's going to happen again. The more shots are going to create goals. Van Ness centers for number 12. That is Jeff Curtis. Curtis couldn't quite get to it. Number 11 picked up for PH. That's Carl Albert. Albert throws it along as he gets hit. That's cleared all the way down. Picked up by number 4, David Fry. Fry comes in, and there's nobody there. Centered by PH. And shot back in on the goal. Number 11 is going to pick this one up. Carl Albert. Albert hit by Jeff Curtis. Back behind the Northern goal. Picked up by number 7, that is Chris Hall. Hall sends it up center ice to Vigrass. Mike Vigrass tries to clear but couldn't get it out. And that one hopped over his stick. And Duker Campbell comes out of the net to play that one. And that's stopped as it tried to be cleared up the right boards by PH to Justin Smith. Justin Smith just dumps it in the corner for Northern. And he gets his own dump as he's battling for it in the corner. And he's knocked off of balance. And PH is going to bring it up left side. They're going to chip it into the zone for Josh Gardner. Gardner loses it, but to Albert. Albert comes up right side, looking for Smith in the middle. Couldn't get the pass away. Still has the puck, tries to center for Sox. intercepted by PH, and a big hit laid by number 11. That's the sophomore, Nick Prevost. Hops into neutral ice. And we're going to have a stoppage of play.
Both teams seem to be taking advantage of what they have. The score is still 0-0. It's a pretty even game so far. Spending much time in both ends.
And we're going to have a cross-checking penalty assessed to number 11. That is Nick Prevost, a sophomore. So he's going to get a 2-minute rest. And PH is going to be up a man. It's going to be number 18 for Northern, Josh Bennett, versus 19, Joel Heimbeck. Bennett wins that one easily to Burgess. Burgess dumps it back in behind number 20, Dan Thick for PH. Higher down there, battling for it. PH finally sends it up the left board, cleared up. And Burgess is going to send it right back down for Higher. But PH is going to pick that one up as Higher lays off. Going cross ice for number 7, that is Jason Newberry. Newberry tries to throw it up along the boards, picked up by number 18, Bennett. Bennett throws it up center, intercepted by PH. Again intercepted by number 6, Fagan, Bull Fagan. And Burgess looking to go. He gets to about the red line, and Northern is going to do a little bit of a line change here. Van Ness going to check back in for the Huskies. Fagan behind the net. Sends it up the boards to Van Ness. That's going to be handled by Thick. Thick dumps it behind the net for number 9. That's Kevin Erickson. Van Ness Sadoe putting on a little bit of pressure for Northern. And Van Ness is going to chase this one down behind his own net. He's going to roll it back around, come up the boards, and send it all the way down the ice. 35 seconds left in the Prevost cross check. And Sadoe bugging Thick a little bit, and Thick didn't appreciate that, let him know. And Napolitan is going to stop play there. Maybe have a conversation with Kevin Sadoe, give him a rest.
Refs don't take too kindly when you interfere with other goalies. There should be an equal penalty assessed to Thick for retaliating, however. Huskies doing a good job on the penalty kill, dumping it down and chasing it.
So Dan Thick was assessed a penalty. I was wondering why Huskies had 4 men on the ice. So there's going to be 29 seconds left, and then it's going to be 5-on-5 as nobody leaves the ice for a coincidental minor penalty. PH picks the puck up behind their own net. In comes Woolman, picked up by number 12. That is Jeff Curtis. Curtis dumps it back behind the goal. Woolman still forechecking real hard. Woolman, a little hooked, and that shot didn't even get through to Campbell as it's picked up by number 3, Ropish. Ropish sends it up the boards, but held in by number 2, Jason Sheffer, but finally cleared by big Chris Sox. Sox goes all the way down the ice, and it looks like we're going to have an icing call as the penalty must have already expired by the time Soxy dumped it. So far, North score. 9 minutes and 37 seconds left in the first period of play at a fairly quiet McMorran Arena tonight. Once again, I'm Alex Rogers. Along with me tonight is Sean McLean for CPHS 6, your source for all high school sports. Smitty versus Heimbeck. Heimbeck wins, and that one goes left. Heimbeck tries to center. That's going to be covered up by Duke Campbell. Duke Campbell is a freshman. They're really looking to get a lot of good games out of him. Right now, Northern's sitting pretty good with their goaltending staff. They've got a sophomore and a freshman on the team, and they're both good goalies, so that's got to make McCarroll real happy. Once again, Smitty and Heimbeck in the face-off circle. And that one's going to be won by Northern as it's tipped out by number 11, Prevost. Prevost blocks the shot. He's looking to go with Elber. Throws it up to Elber, and he left it for Prevost. Prevost couldn't handle, picked up by Burgess. Burgess goes across to number 15. That's Van Sickle. Van Sickle goes to Elber. Elber in center ice couldn't get a shot away as he was hampered by the PH defender. And that's going to be sent back into the zone by Burgess. Prevost in the corner. Getting work by Erickson and Heimbeck. Finally picked up by PH, up to Singer. Singer along the right side goes high behind the boards. Picked up by Prevost. Prevost battles, and it gets dumped back in behind Duke Campbell. Burgess lays a hit on number 16. That's Josh Gardner. And Northern comes back up with a puck. Elber fans on it. It comes across the red line. Elber, dump shot, blocked by Erickson. Shot in on Thick. Thick steers that one to the side, and that's going to be picked up by Vigrass. Vigrass throws it across to number 7, Chris Hall. Hall trying to go to Paul Glombowski. Glombowski gets hampered on the shot, and this is going to be picked up by number 7 for PH Newberry. Newberry sends it up along the boards to number 15, Michael Down. Picked up by Heyer. Heyer sweeps it out front for Bennett. Back to Heyer. Heyer couldn't handle, and that's going to be dumped by Michael Down. Picked up by number 7 for Northern. That's Chris Hall. And a battle for the puck out front, held in by Port Huron High, and Hall is finally going to get to it and be able to do something with it. He dumps it along the boards. Bennett and Heyer out there trying to get the puck out of the zone behind the Northern net for Vigrass. Vigrass goes along the boards past Glombowski. Heyer skates in on it. Could have a one-on-one. Heyer fanned on the shot. And that comes back up. Sox holds it in. Intercepted by number 6. That is Gary Votek, and Sox picks that back up, and before it's intercepted once again by Elber. Elber dumps a weak shot in on Campbell. Campbell steers that one to the right into the corner for Ropish, and Ropish is going to go all the way down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call. Bring the face-off back into the Northern zone.
And we have 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first period. The score is still 0-0.
Neither team getting away very many quality scoring chances. Definitely not what we saw last game. At a minute and 20 seconds into it, Justin Smith scoring to make the goal, game 1-0. It's a little bit different this time. And Van Ness comes up center ice. Van Ness working with Sox. He dumps it to Sox. Sox get it poking away. Van Ness still battling for it, and that's going to get cleared all the way down. Picked up by Ropish. Ropish back in behind his own net, hampered by number 8, Aaron Beckman. Shot down by Ropish. Center ice picked up by number 7, Jason Newberry. Newberry dumps it in. Campbell comes out of the net to play it. Once again, Ropish, and Ropish gets hit from behind by number 17. That is Scott Herber. And Northern comes back up. Here comes Woolman. Woolman fans on it. Held in by, oh, no, it wasn't held in, but the referee gave no indication that that puck was offsides.
That puck never left the line.
The referee gave no indication that that puck went offsides. Van Ness looked. He looked like it was cool, so Van Ness went back across, and that's when he blew the whistle. Face off, neutral side, PH. Smitty and Heimbeck still battling for it, and PH is gonna, or Northern, excuse me, is gonna win this one. Fagan picks it up and dumps it down, and it's shot back in by to Fagan again. Deep in his own zone. Fagan goes behind his own net for Elber. But Singer intercepts, centers for Gardner, broken up nicely by Fagan. And here comes Smitty. Smitty chasing it. Up along the right side for number 16, Gardner. Gardner cutting across the center. And that was broken up. Neutral ice. Heimbeck dumps it in behind. Burgess is going to pick it up, being tailed by Singer. Singer hits Burgess into the boards, puck behind Northern net. Smitty and Gardner battling for it, and that's poked away by Prevost, and Napolitan's going to blow the whistle. Singer having a conversation down there with Napolitan.
I'm guessing that he's having to say something about being pushed into the net and knocking the moorings off. got shoved from behind and laying right on top of the net.
It looks like a complete line change for both sides. And PH wins that one. Poked away by Heyer. Picked up by Bennett. Bennett trying to cut to the center of the ice. Weaving. He dumps it in behind. Heyer chasing it. Picked up by PH and cleared up along the boards. Held in by number 7. That's Hall. Back in the corner for Bennett. Bennett being hampered by number 9, Kevin Erickson. Sadoe dumps it back in for Bennett. Shot out again by Erickson. Sadoe again dumps it in the corner back to Erickson, who centers it out front of his own net, but picked up by number 6, Votek. And Sadoe tries to clear. Votek wanting to come with the puck, but it was poked away, and a lofty shot easily handled by Duker Campbell. At 5 minutes left in the first period. Still no score here at McMorran.
You got to think a little bit, Alex. You look at the Port Huron Northern hockey team this year and see how many players are going to be leaving next year. There's going to be Kevin Sadoe, Chris Fagan, Sox, Van Ness, several different players.
Yeah, Northern definitely will be losing a bunch of seniors next year. And Sadoe loses that face-off as that goes behind the Northern net, picked up by number 3, Ropish, shot up to number 12, Curtis. Curtis gets checked. And then Woolman goes in there after it. Ropish goes cross ice to a wide open Van Ness, who tips it up to Curtis, and Curtis loses the puck. Oh, and Van Ness was tripped there by number 11. That is Carl Elber. Sox going to Curtis, and he loses that. That's going to be picked up by number 8, Aaron Beckman, who throws it down into neutral ice. Van Ness sends it back for Sox. Sox goes up to Woolman. Woolman tips it up, and out of the net comes Dan Thick. He leaves it for PH. Sox picks it up neutral ice. Goes across to Burgess. Burgess goes up along the board, and here comes another line change. Smitty going in on the forecheck. Can't quite handle. Popped across by Prevost, but we are going to have an offside, so he lets that go. In comes number 11, Elber. Elber takes a shot on Campbell. Campbell deflected that one up in the air. And the nets are off the mooring as Burgess and Elber got into a little confrontation behind the net.
I don't know what the ref was looking at there, Alex, but to me it looked like Nick Burgess just grabbed Scott Elber and just tackled him.
Okay, so Smitty and Heimbeck in the face-off circle. Heimbeck wins that one. That's going to be picked up by Smitty and sent up the ice. Smitty and Albert chasing it. Deflected back in by Smith. Prevost holds it in neutral ice. Smitty picks it up, throws it back along the boards for Albert. Held in by Newberry for PH. PH dumps it back to Newberry, swept away by Smith. Prevost picks it up. He could go. He's looking to go to Elber. And that is gonna be onside as he dumps it behind the net for Smith. Smith cuts back, working thick, out front. Oh, and it got poked away. And that's up for Singer. Vigrass and Singer in the corner, and Vigrass sweeps it away as Singer tries to lay a check on him. Scott Elber goes up along the boards for a bouncing puck, gonna be picked up by Newberry. Newberry behind his own net, being forechecked by Bennett. Out comes Sadoe. Sadoe looking to hit him. And that is gonna be Heimbeck who dumps it in behind Campbell and Fagan to pick it up. Fagan goes up along the boards. Sadoe for number 18, Bennett. Bennett going to number 7, that is Hall. Hall gets stood up at the blue line by number 11, Carl Elber for PH, but Bennett picks the puck back up, comes in behind the net. Bennett looking to center, and it's deflected by PH, but Bennett once again picks up the puck. Dumps it back in behind the net, and PH sweeps it up. Singer ends up clearing the puck. Fagan intercepted by Elber. Elber dumps it in far side corner by Campbell. Still can't be cleared by Northern as that's a weak shot dump to the side of the net. There's a battle in the corner for it. And it finally pops out. Heyer taking off after it. Dives on his stomach and holds it in. Beautiful play by Nate Heyer to hold that, to hold that in. And back comes the other way for PH is Michael Down. And that's going to be picked up by Ropish. Ropish working in the corner, tries to dump it up beside Van Ness. And then he dumps it back behind his net for Sox. Sox goes center ice for Van Ness. Van Ness is all alone, and he goes high and wide. And the whistles are going to blow.
And Van Ness was offside. His legs crossed that blue line before the puck did.
That's too bad. That was the first quality scoring chance that we've really seen all night. Sox to Van Ness, that's the senior connection. They've played together for a bunch of years now. Way back when they went to Socorro Flyers and all that. They were playing, and Sox looked up, saw Van Ness going, hit him with a beautiful pass. Ropish in his own zone, goes up along the boards, tried for Prevost. Prevost comes back around, lets Smith picks it up. Smith goes cross ice for Sox. Sox brings it into the zone. Picked up by Newberry and sent back down. Ropish once again looking, goes over to Prevost. Prevost tries to tip it to Smitty. Picked up once again by Prevost, carried into the zone. And PH number 17, Scott Herber has it. Herber goes up the board. Sox picks it up and dumps it back in behind Dan Thick. That is going to be icing on Northern. 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Still no score here at McMorran. Definitely not what we saw last game. Both teams seem to be lagging a little bit. A little bit slower than they were when they first came out. Definitely playing a lot more defensive hockey, especially PH. PH is playing a lot better defensively.
Much more aggressive, much more defensive. They want to win this game.
And on the flip side, though, it doesn't seem like Northern's got it. They're hitting on all 8 cylinders. But we'll see what happens as this period just about winds out. As Burgess picks the puck up behind, throws it up for Heyer. Heyer lets that go between his legs, and that's going to be right in on Thick. Thick touches it up and leaves it for the defender. That's going to be tried to clear by Singer. Singer couldn't clear. Bennett couldn't quite hold it as it's picked up by Burgess. Burgess dumps it back into the corner.
And there's going to be an icing call on the play.
So another icing penalty for Northern.
So they bring the puck back down into the Northern zone. Both teams make a quick line change while there's 17 seconds left in the period. Hopefully it'll give one of these teams a chance to score.
Smitty versus Heimbeck once again. And that one was won by Justin Smith as he throws it over to Ropish, who dumps it all the way down. Icing is going to be waved off. 7 seconds left. Elber takes a big shot. Beautiful save by Dan Thick. That's the freshman goaltender from PH. Beautiful save. That's the second good quality scoring chance for Northern tonight. Excellent save. That's got to morale PH's spirits a little bit.
Almost looks like it's the only second overall.
Well, PH just had that one shot on Duke. He had to go down and save, so there's been a couple shots both ways, but that was a really good scoring chance again, and Thick made a nice save. Smitty loses this draw to Heimbeck. Heimbeck's going to go all the way down the ice, and that's going to wind out the first period for us here at McMorran. I'm Alex Rogers. Along with me is Sean McLean. We're watching high school hockey action. You've got PH versus PHN 0-0, and we'll be back for the second period. Welcome back to McMorran Arena. I'm Alex Rogers. Along with me is Sean McLean for CPHS 6, your source for all high school sports. Tonight you are watching high school hockey action. That is Port Huron Northern versus Port Huron High School. Second period is just about to get underway. We have no score here and a very strong defensive game by both sides. And the face-off is going to be won by PH, picked up by Gartner. Gartner sends it in. Campbell deflects that one down. Heimbeck contesting in the corner against Sox. Sox rolls it across to Ropish before he gets belted by Singer. Number 7, Newberry dumps it back up to Heyer. Heyer looking to break, and he loses the puck. Newberry picks it up and sends it back all the way down. Campbell is going to let that one go, and no icing is going to be called. And so Heimbeck has it, working in the corner. Sox picks it up. Sox dumps it up along the boards, picked up by Heyer. Heyer drops it for Bennett. Bennett coming up along the right side, and Sadoi's going to move in on now as he makes a nice move to avoid getting hit by number 9. That is Erickson. Heimbeck picks up the puck, tipped up in the air by Woolman and over the glass, so that's going to be our first stoppage of play for the second period. Coming out the second period the same way they did the first. Real strong defense, a lot of checking, especially in the neutral ice. That's what both coaches, I'm sure, like to see.
Definitely. Both teams are keeping the game even. They're not going one way or another.
And Woolman loses that face-off to Herber. Sheffer's going to pick that one up behind his old goal, but he gets belted by number 12, Curtis, and that's going to be cleared by PH. Curtis picks it up for Burgess. Burgess goes across to Van Ness. Van Ness tries to go up center for Woolman, but intercepted by PH. Burgess picks it back up, blocked. Woolman finally gets it into the PH zone, and he's hit hard by Carl Albert. Back in behind, it's picked up by PH. Albert with the puck up along the boards to Burgess. Burgess whacked Talmadge real good there.
and Nick Burgess is on a rampage.
And he just laid a hit on number 8, Aaron Beckman, pretty good. Albert sends it back in the zone. Fagan just got crunched by number 17,
And there's going to be a charging penalty on that play.
Well, he only took about 35 steps before he skated in and belted Fagan with his head down. Of course, having your head down is Fagan's fault, but incidentally, you don't need to take that many steps to hit somebody.
When you're going to check someone, you have to make sure you coast just before you hit him, or else, it's like having a running start right at him.
I believe that might end up being PH's first penalty where Northern gets an advantage. Now, Thick took a penalty in the first period, but that was coincidental. Oh, and off goes somebody for Northern, too, so it looks like this is going to be a coincidental. Still 5 skaters aside. Smitty and Heimbeck to take the face-off. And Smith wins that one, sends it back to Vigrass. Vigrass up along the boards for number 11, Prevost, but that is picked up by PH. Dumped into the zone. Vigrass going after it, chased by Gartner of PH and Singer. He goes up along the boards to number 19, Albert. Albert dumps it for Smitty. Smitty goes up along the boards for Prevost. Prevost in a one-on-one with Newberry, sweeps it around, and a nice save by Thick. And Albert lays a hit by the net. Prevost, quick shot, nice save by Thick as he got down and blocked that one. Smith with the puck along the right board. Smith looking. Nice move. Oh, and it was sat down by the PH player and swept away. As Hall falls down trying to play the puck, Vigrass behind the net gets a big hook by a PH, and that one's snuffed out along the side by Campbell. Out in front for Heimbeck. Heimbeck blocked. Nice save by Campbell as he went down. And Prevost was tripped hard to the ice. Prevost back in there battling with Heimbeck. Tipped that for Smith. Smith dangerous when he gets some room. And he gets hit pretty hard by 2 PH players.
And Smitty's hurt and he's coming off the ice.
And out comes Bennett. Prevost with the puck, flips it up for number 19 Albert, but that was broken up by PH and dumped back in behind Campbell. Campbell out of net to play it, leaves it for Vigrass as PH changes lines. Vigrass is going to go all the way down, and I believe Northern is going to do the same. And so we have an icing call here. With 11 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the second period. Still no score here at McMorran.
And looks like Nate Heyer could have got a penalty for taking the puck after the whistle down there, Alex.
Bennett wins that face off to Sox. Sox goes up to Heyer. Heyer makes a nice kick to get it up. Bennett threw that one back in, but Heyer was way offside, so I'll check up. Sadoe coming in to pinch down. Held in by Ropish. Ropish weak side on the net, steered aside by Helton. Bennett laid a big hit down in the corner, and there's going to be another whistle.
And the puck's going to come outside the zone. The refs are indicating that the puck did go off of a Northern player before leaving into the stands.
So that's going to be PH side neutral ice as PH once again changes lines. They change the lines a lot more than McCarroll as his team do. But it looks as though PH brings a smaller bench to their game, so they change lines a lot more to keep fresh legs on the ice. Bennett wins that face-off. Ropish dumps it into the zone. Out of the net, Helton plays it. Comes up along the boards. The battle for it in the corner. Bennett comes out with it. Bennett tries to center, broken up by PH. Sadoe tries to pick it up higher. Weak shot, almost tipped by Bennett. Stop. Sadoe lets a weak backhand go, and that was steered aside by Helton, who dropped his stick. Held in by Sox at the point. Sox dumps it in behind the net, knocked out of the air by Newberry. Out in front for Bennett. Nice shot and a nice save by Helton by Thick, as he steered that one aside. Sox with the puck. Sox coming in front for Heyer. Heyer loses balance. Ropish keeps that one in as he dumps it in the corner for Sox. Sox gets hit by Heimbeck. The puck was picked up by Erickson and cleared all the way down the ice. Ropish coming down to touch up, and that's going to be icing on PH, and that's going to bring it deep into the Port Huron high zone.
Tim Ropish looked like he almost lost it and went right into the boards down there, Alex. All the players give all the hard work that they can, no matter what the circumstances.
Northern put together a nice series of shots there, and Thick put together a nice series of saves. That was the first repeated offensive attack we've seen all night from either side. Woolman wins that faceoff, fanned by Van Ness. Burgess picks it up, dumps it back down in, picked up by PH. PH is going to clear the zone, and that's going to be picked up by number 15 for Northern. That's Van Sickle. Van Sickle goes over to Van Ness. Van Ness goes to Glombowski, and Glombowski shoots that one high and wide. Van Ness behind the net battling. Picked up by Singer. Singer dumps that one past Burgess all the way down onto Campbell. Picked up by Van Sickle. Van Sickle tries to go center ice to Woolman, just out of his reach, and that's going to go all the way down. And an icing call on Northern. So that's going to bring the puck deep into the PHN zone.
Once again, a lot of icing in this game. Most of the teams trying to get the puck out of their zone any way they can so they can make their changes, get their fresh legs back out on the ice, and just trying to keep the puck out of their zone.
And out of the neutral ice, a lot of defensive stops being made in the neutral ice tonight, which is what you need to do to keep the score where it's at right now, which is 0-0. If you've just tuned in, there's 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second period. No score here. This is Port Huron Northern, Port Huron High hockey.
And Justin Smith's going to get kicked out of the faceoff, it looked like. No, maybe not.
Nope, they're going to leave Smitty in there. Smith wins that one. Back for Hall. Hall dumps it back for Smith. Smith coming up the left side. Stolen by number 17 from PH. That is Herber. But once again, he lost it in neutral ice. Picked up by Northern. And then once again picked up by PH. That's Bachman. Bachman trying to come up the ice. Nice double team by Fagan and Elber. Fagan with the puck. Banks it off the boards. That's going to come down. Picked up by number 7, Newberry of PH. Newberry looking to go to Herber. That's just out of his reach. Fagan goes back up along the boards. And that was Prevost on that breakup. So number 7 for Northern, Hall, tries to clear the zone. And that's going to be picked up once again by 7 as it was held in by PH. Hall coming up. Throws it to Prevost. Prevost tries to go cross ice for Smith. Smith dumps it in the corner. Out comes Sox, one of the team's senior co-captains. Higher from across ice, lays a huge hit on one of the men from PH. And the fans are loving that. This is a real physical game here. Sox with a puck, looking for Higher up center ice, just out of his reach. Northern starting to get real physical on the ice. Higher coming in all alone, quick shot, knocked down, he didn't know. Fick did not know where it was at, and that was a nice play by the PH defender to sweep that one out. Ropish on net, Thick steered that one aside easily. Bennett tries to go center for Higher. Higher leaves it for Sadowi. Sadowi in the corner, that's going to be picked up by number 3, Matthew Gusky for PH. Gusky's going to send it up along the boards, held in by Ropish. Number 6 for PH, Votek pushed that one out. That's number 3, Ropish for Northern, who dumped that one back into the zone. And once again, it's going to be cleared by PH all the way down onto Campbell. Campbell dumps it over for Burgess. Burgess coming back up the ice, throws it up for Van Ness. Picked up by number 14, Woolman, who loses it to PH. That's going to come back once again to Burgess in his own zone. Tries to clear, held in by Gardner. Gardner bringing it back into the zone, still has the puck. Getting double teamed down there by Burgess and Van Ness. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sox picks up the puck, but it was shot back into the Northern zone again, so Burgess will try that again. Heimbeck comes through, picked up by Singer. Nice check by number 12 for Northern, Curtis, to break up that play. Number 19, Heimbeck, just got hit real big time by Curtis. The fans here are loving these hard hits by Northern.
Most of them come by those little guys, too.
That one jarred the door open on the bench. Burgess to Smith at the red line, knocked back in by number 10, Shane Talmadge, and that's going to draw a whistle. Waiting to see what is going to come out of that. Northern starting to step up the physical play a little bit, getting a little response out of the crowd. What was being a pretty quiet crowd here tonight is finally starting to make some noise for Northern, not so much for PH, but definitely the physical play by Northern is helping them. They started hitting a lot harder. They're getting more scoring opportunities, and
really putting on the pressure.
It's breaking PH's game up a little bit too.
They came out this period, and they're really showing what they can do now. PH gets a 2-minute penalty for, I'm not sure what they got it for, actually.
Either way, they're going to be down a man for 2 minutes as Sox goes across to Albert, back to Sox. Looking to go up for Prevost. Prevost couldn't quite hold, and that's going to be offside, so all of Northern comes back to the blue line. They go back in. And that's going to be shot all the way down. No icing due to the penalty. Sox picks that one up, goes behind his own net. Holds up. Coming up the right side goes to Van Ness. Up along the left side. Van Ness squeaks by into the corner, throws it back up to the point for Sox. Sox got that big slap shot. There it is. And that one just to the left of Thick. Back out to Sox at the point from Sox over to Van Ness. Van Ness back to Sox. One-timer. Oh, and that hit Prevost, who was on the ice.
Laying right in the crease, and it looks like referee's going to issue a whistle for that man being in the crease, touching the puck while he was in there, interfering with the goalie.
Nice passing by Northern there to set up that one-timer for Albert. Albert, Van Ness, and Sox just passed it around until they could find somebody who got a nice open shot. Albert one-timed it, hit a nice low one on the ground going toward the corner, but unfortunately that hit Nick Prevost, the sophomore, and drew a whistle. Face off won by PH. Gardner broken up by Smith. Smith to Bennett. Bennett back to Ropish. Ropish back out for Smith. Smith holds up, brings it back into his own zone, lets his guys regroup. Smith back to Ropish. Ropish along the left side is going to dump it in behind Thick. Higher first one there. And another whistle.
And it looks like Port Huron Northern has a man down.
That looks like Ropish over there. And out comes McCarroll onto the ice to check on his man.
Tim Ropish is one of Port Huron Northern's newer players. Came on as a defenseman.
Doing a good job for Northern. I didn't exactly see what happened over there, but he's still on the ice, and it looks like the captains are having a conference with the officials right now to see if we can figure out. Meanwhile, PHS trainer Meg Eland has come out to work on Ropish. 53 seconds left in the penalty to PH. 5 minutes and 33 seconds left in the period. This is the second period, actually. I'm Alex Rogers. Once again, Sean McLean and the rest of the CPHS 6 staff here doing all the taping. Looks like we got Chris Warcella and
Benjamin Cranky.
Heidemann over there on the camera, and of course, Mad Ben Cranky doing the directing. So, of course, under the supervision of Mrs. Shelley Senick. Like, by the way, while we got this opportunity, we'd like to say hello to her husband, Mr. Edward Senick. Too bad he couldn't join us tonight up here in the press box. As Ropish climbs to his feet with the help of a couple other players, he gets a round of applause by the crowd, and he is going to be skated off the ice by some teammates. This does not look good. And he's staying off his right leg.
And Daryl McCarroll being escorted by
Meg Eland
from Port Huron High School.
Also a physical therapist at Orthopedic Associates. And Heyer will come out on the ice. Doesn't look like there's going to be any penalties assessed either way. And the crowd's starting to rally behind Northern a little bit. Sox over to Burgess. Burgess looks up ice, goes back to Sox. Sox comes up to the center. Dumps it for Burgess. Burgess throws it in the zone past the stick of Jason Newberry. Heyer rushes down there. Heyer picks the puck up on the net, tries to center for Bennett, just out of his reach. Burgess to Sox. Sox weak shot in. Picked up a Heyer. Heyer goes to the wraparound, and it was stopped by Thick. Bennett trying to play that one from the ground. And that's going to be cleared all the way down by PH, picked up by Burgess. Burgess coming up the right side, cuts into the center. Dumps it in for Smith. Smith working along the boards as Northern changes lines. Big shot by Curtis, that got through. Nice save by Dan Thick. As he was blinded. Tried to clear by Heimbeck, shot back in on the net by Sox. Smith picks up the rebound. Smith whirls back around, tries to center for Curtis, and that's going to be covered by Thick.
Mad scramble in front of the net. Port Huron Northern gets some great shots off there.
Once again, keeping the pressure on by Northern. They're bound to poke one in eventually, but give a lot of credit to Dan Thick. He's playing a great game in goal tonight for PH. He's one of the main reasons that the score remains 0-0 here in the second period.
Definitely.
Now, once again, I can't say this enough. This is just a huge difference in hockey from what we saw a couple weeks ago. Curtis a shot in, easy glove save by Thick. He kind of flips it around and looks at it a little bit. He knew he had that one all the way, got a good look at it. But another face-off deep in the PH zone.
As PH comes out full strength, their penalty being over now.
Woolman at the face-off dot for Northern. Drops the puck. PH won that face-off, picked up by number 17. That would be Herber. Dumps it in, picked up by number 7, Hall, over to Vigrass. Vigrass flips it up in the air. Curtis battles for it, can't quite hold it. Vigrass winds up, takes a shot left of Thick. Shot back in by Hall, tipped by Woolman, but Thick had his stick on the ice the whole time and made a nice save.
Both teams taking a line change with 4 minutes left in the game, getting the fresh men out on the ice. All Port Huron High's teammates coming out congratulating Dan Thick for the great job he's been doing.
Thick's been standing. He's like a stone wall in the goal so far for PH. Face-off won by PH. Knocked out of the zone, picked up by Captain Chris Sox. Sox over to Hall. Hall up along the boards. Picked up by another Captain Justin Smith. Smith gets brutally taken down to the ice by number 7, Newberry. Prevost with the puck out front, broken up. And here comes Gardner. Gardner makes a nice move, but effectively taken out of the play by Fagan and Sox. Beautiful defensive stand by Northern. Absolutely beautiful. The two seniors broke that play up completely as that was number 11, Prevost, knocks a weak one in. And there's going to be some pushing and shoving down there. That's Scott Albert mixing it up a little bit. He was checked from behind into the goalie. The goalie didn't like that, so he knocked Albert. Two guys jumped on him, and Albert's a pretty big boy, and he just jumped right back on them. Officials stopped that, and Albert's going to get himself a 2-minute break.
Scott Albert not only being one of the top point getters, he's the top goal getter for Port Huron Northern. He's also got the most penalty minutes.
Well, as you can see, he didn't mind mixing it up there. He just put two PH players on the ice.
Sent the goalie into the net.
And he's going to get himself a 2-minute penalty, so looks like it's going to be a coincidental penalty.
Big red penalty, number 19, Joe
Heimbeck also going off the ice for the Big Reds. And that's going to be dumped behind for Van Sickle, I believe. Coming up along the right side board. Picked up by Elber, shot in on Campbell. Campbell, nice save. Shot wide by number 4, Fry. And Campbell covers that one up.
You know, it just makes you so mad to see the puck sitting there in front of the net. You're right there and you wind up for that shot and you fan at it. You know, you just don't know how much is going through your mind when you see that puck.
Campbell made a nice stand there for Northern, the freshman. Made a nice, actually what happened was as Albert came in, took a quick shot. He got the blocker up and made a nice save for Northern. PH went in the draw. Woolman quickly taking the puck, goes up along the boards. Curtis momentarily lost it, knocked in the center, broken up by Woolman, brought up by Van Ness. A 3-on-2 for Northern. Van Ness coming up the right side, makes a nice cutback move, another nice one, broken up. Woolman, quick shot, nice save by Thick. And then the rebound, another nice save by Thick. There's a battle behind the goal. Curtis back there battling for it. Looks like number 11 for PH, Albert back there battling for it, and it's finally gonna get cleared. And number 7, Hall's gonna pick it up for Northern. Sweeps it back up along the boards. Goes center, picked up by PH, held in by Curtis. Now picked up by Woolman. Woolman goes into the corner, and Van Ness just got mugged as his helmet came off. And that's gonna draw a whistle by by Napolitan, excuse me.
There should have been a penalty on that call. The guy that went after Jeremy Van Ness completely left his feet, which can be considered a charge, and you can't jump at a player.
He hit Van Ness hard enough to take his helmet off. Now they've got a chin strap. They've got straps on the cups inside the cage. So, I mean, that thing is snapped in 6 places. That helmet should not have came off his head on a normal body check.
That is unless Jeremy Van Ness, being one of the players that likes to be casual, didn't have it done up like he should have.
But there's still no reason to be up around the head area on a check either way.
No.
Prevost loses the puck. That's going to be picked up by PH. Instantly stolen right away again by Smith. Smith, quick shot, nice save by Thick. Back in the corner, Globowski, a big hit for Northern, picked up by Smith. Smith once again. Oh, a nice poke check by PH. Broken up. And Sox has the puck for Northern. Sox goes across to Fagan. Fagan tried to go to Prevost, but that was broken up by PH. And we've got another whistle. It looks like an offsides call.
And with 1 minute and 18 seconds left in the second period, score still tied up at 0-0. Both Port Huron High giving some good defense. Port Huron Northern putting on a lot of offense. Daniel Thick, the freshman goaltender, standing up, and
excellent job by both goaltenders tonight. As Northern wins that face-off, Burgess tries to go across to number 15. That is Van Sickle. Oh! That's a Northern goal! That looked like PH scored on themselves.
Looks like a Port Huron High School player shot it out from behind the net and hit Daniel Thick in the back of his legs and then knocked it right back into the net.
That's amazing, folks. Excellent defense all game, and the first goal of the night is going to be from one of your teammates. That hurts. But again, that either way, if that would have went either way, that was excellent goaltending by both goaltenders. Thick doing just a phenomenal job for PH. Number 4, Sadowi. The senior Kevin Sadowi is going to get credit for that goal. Won by Northern. Burgess going into the corner. Heyer chasing it. Heyer looking to lay a big check on number 2, Jason Sheffer. Heimbeck just stripes Sadowi behind the net, because that's going to be picked up by Bennett. Bennett lobbed a shot into the left of Thick. Sox goes back and behind the net, picked up by Sadowi. Almost another goal by Kevin Sadowi out front as he picked up the Sox shot off the boards. PH behind their own net, coming up the boards. Picked up in the middle, intercepted by Bennett. Bennett looking to go. Broken up real nicely by the PH defender. That's number 11, Carl Albert. Gardner rolls it into the corner, back in behind the net for Heimbeck. Heimbeck hit by Burgess, comes up along the boards for Heyer. Heyer working on Elber. Heyer gets around Elber. He gets Sheffer trips. Sox tries to go back out front for Heyer. Van Ness coming across. Tries to lay a big hit on number 15, Michael Down. And so that's the end of the second period. Once again, the score is now 1-0.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers, and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-CALL-EDF for your free Buy Recycled shopping guide. 1-800-CALL-EDF.